Well, it looks like we got yet again another Transformers Tuesday dropped into our laps unexpectedly. Yesterday, we were shown our first idea of what this next Amazon exclusive collection is going to be. Before that, we had the Galactic Odyssey collection. Now we have this, as they call it, the Transformers Generation War for Cybertron Golden Disc collection. We were shown Chapter 1 yesterday. The pre-orders went up. We were able to find out what's the story going on with that teased out there Puffer and Autobot Road Ranger. We learned that it's a 2-pack. It's going to be part of this Galactic Odyssey collection. The pre-orders went up. They sold out on Amazon. They sold out on Hasbro Pulse. Then they went back up for sale on Amazon. Then they sold out again. Then they went back up. All kinds of drama. People were excited. What was cool is it created a narrative and a story going on, and at the end of it, they did this little teaser. Oh, someone's coming through the Quantum Surge portal. Who could it be? And they showed this little silhouette of some control art of Wheeljack. I speculated, a lot of other people speculated, oh, maybe it's a slicer repaint. Maybe it's a exhaust repaint. Me, I was going, hey, maybe it could be, the Cybertronian Wheeljack toy we've been waiting for. Who knows? Who knows? We were all wrong. Just like what they did with the Earthrise stuff with Galactic Odyssey, they just kind of just use random control arts to tease the next set, even if the art has nothing to do with the actual set. I don't know if they do that on purpose. I don't know if they just, because they're just grabbing art and they just want to use anything because they don't want to have to bother making a silhouette of the actual toys. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's to just make a conversation. But now we have Chapter 2 shown to us. The pre-orders have gone up. It's going to go crazy. Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Golden Disc Collection Chapter 2, Autobot Jackpot with his Action Master partner Sights. This is pretty hype. I mean, we probably were going to see this coming at some point just because of historically the mold that it's tied to, but we'll get into that in a moment, and also how this might give us an indication of what the other two releases will be in terms of box dimensions and everything like that. So what do we got here? So Autobot Jackpot is a repaint / retool of essentially the Studio Series 86 Jazz. Now, Jazz historically is that Porsche design, and the original 1990 Jackpot Action Master toy, which Action Masters didn't transform, had a very Jazz kind of chest. A lot of those old Action Masters, you kind of had to guess what they turned into because they didn't have alt modes. They were just action figures. So you looked at their chest, you looked at their designs, and you kind of had to guess. And Jackpot had a very Jazz-looking kind of body type. And some people thought, oh, maybe he's a Ferrari, maybe he's a Porsche. It was never really confirmed 100%, but he had that kind of look. Then you fast forward to 2013 when they did the Transformers subscription service through Fun Publication and the Collector Club, and they wanted to make a animated Jackpot. And who did they use? They used Animated Jazz. So that created more of a tie to those two characters and who could be repaint brothers of each other. So lo and behold, one would have thought that the black repaint of a Jazz would have been a Stepper or its American counterpart name of Ricochet or trademark. But they instead went with Jackpot. I have no problem with this. They gave it a brand new head sculpt too, where a Ricochet / Stepper would have had just the Jazz head and probably a Target Master. So we got Jackpot here. He looks fantastic. And what's even great is to tie him to his Action Master origins and everything. They gave him a Action Master partner. Now, granted, this isn't a brand new sculpt. The character of Sights here actually ties back to his old Action Master origins. And they just decided, well, it's just easier to just straight up repaint one of the pre-existing Battle Master stuff from Siege, Transformers War for Cybertron Siege. So they took Pteraxodon, they painted him blue, and they sent him off to the races. Now, the original Sights was more of a bird kind of Action Master partner, and since they didn't really have anything that was really 100% bird-like, they just went with this pterodactyl-looking Battle Master instead in Pteraxodon and repainted him blue, made him Sights, and now we are off to the races. I think it looks great. I love what we see here. I think this is a winner. Again, anytime those Action Masters could get, modern interpretations with transformations, sign me up. Now, again, what's cool about these Golden Disc collection stuff is there's a little story always put with it. So shall we? Chapter 2, and Out of the Other Side. Jackpot with sights. The quantum surge causes a time vortex intercepting the Action Master Jackpot and his partner Sights, pulling them through time and space to prehistoric Earth. During the wild journey through the vortex, Jackpot, a non-converting Action Master, gains the ability to convert into a vehicle mode for the very first time. Classic Jackpot luck, and that's what they wrote there. And Sights discovered he can no longer change into his classic photon cannon alt mode, but instead converts into an axe. Actually, that's kind of incorrect, but we'll get into that in a moment. He could still do it. Jackpot sends Sights on some recon, and he observes that they are somehow on prehistoric Earth, and they are not alone. Two beastie bots of unknown factions plot to rewrite history for their own nefarious gain using something called a transwarp cell, which they discovered they can find if they locate the Decepticon ship, the Nemesis. Ooh. Sights makes another discovery. There are other Autobots nearby. Well, one of them's a GoBot. Jackpot and Sights meet Road Ranger and Puffer and tell them what Sights discovered on his recon mission. The Autobots decide to join forces to stop the unknown bots, save the timeline, and get themselves back to their own time and location, and for some, back to normal. I don't know. I think, why would you want to be an Action Master? Either way. Only the transwarp cell could set all things right again, but can they do it? Can they get it to it before the other bots? So that's pretty cool. Now, the thing about Sights not being able to turn into a photon cannon or whatever, well, I mean, the Pteraxodon toy has like a blaster mode, which you can like kind of configure. So, I mean, he could still kind of do it. So I guess they just want to maybe, I don't know, maybe they never messed with the mold. Who knows, whoever wrote the copyright on this. Either way, I think this looks fantastic. He even has the blast accessory too for the axe mode and stuff. He has his little gun that came with the Jazz. Everything looks spectacular here. It's very exciting. So as it stands right now, pre-orders are up right now. The price is $22.99 and it's set to ship out March 1st, 2022, next year. So this is very exciting, very cool. Now, looking at the dimensions of the box, because the first one we got was a 2-pack with 2 deluxes. This is instead going to be a deluxe with a Battle Master. And if you look how the dimensions of the individual boxes are, because you look at Chapter 1, how it's much longer and it has the 2 deluxes. Chapter 2, which is going to feature this one, is more squared off and kind of, I guess, matches the same dimensions of that of the other boxes. Chances are we're probably going to be getting, I'm assuming Chapter 2 and Chapter 4 are going to be the same thing, a deluxe with a little extra something, and Chapter 3 might even be a Voyager. And what I'm teasing at, what I mean with that is, I get a feeling how this is going to work out is we had the teases that Pterosaur was going to be in this and some form of Tigatron. I think that those 2 nefarious beastie bots, these 2 Predacons, if you will, one of them is going to be a Pterosaur Deluxe class, which is a heavy retool. Again, this I could all be wrong. This is just my assumption. A Pterosaur retool from AirRaiser with some kind of extra accessory to be the same kind of price pointing like this Jazz/Jackpot, set here. And the other one is going to be a Voyager. It's going to be a repaint retool of the Voyager class Tigatron that we know about that Kingdom has, except it's going to be done in the orange Tigatron colors. It's going to have the mutant head, and it's probably going to be a Predacon character. So we'll see what happens with that. It's very interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here, but I'm pretty hyped about it. Again, I like it when they take some of these classic characters that never had transformable toys and bring it forward. I mean, hey, there's so many more Action Masters you could do that with, but this is pretty awesome. Let me know what you think about it. Pretty hype, and hopefully we'll have more information about this in the future, and we'll find out maybe sooner than we think about those other 2 chapters. Very cool stuff.